the Miami Grand Prix coming off another 1 week rest from the China Grand Prix in Shanghai. We are moving to the Miami Grand Prix. The Miami Grand Prix started in 2022. And I give you a brief history of the Miami Grand Prix. They've been trying to host the Miami Grand Prix for quite some time. There have been so many people that have tried bringing it up until Stephen M. Ross, the owner of the stadium, who has also been trying to host the Miami Grand Prix for several years before being successful in 2022. They were able to design and deliver the Formula 1 Grade 1 track through the Apex Circuit designer. It was purposefully built for the Formula 1 Grand Prix in Miami. It's also a street circuit and will be hosting the second sprint race of the year. The Miami Grand Prix Circuit International Autodrome started in 2022 and it has only hosted 2 races. And drivers with the most win, Max Verstappen. Team with the most win or constructor with the most win, Red Bull. It's a 5.412 kilometers, which is a 3.363 miles. Race length 308.326 kilometers. That's equivalent to 191.584 miles. A 57 lap race. Very interesting, and with the sprint race coming in, it's going to make it more interesting like we had in China, Shanghai. Quick one, the schedule: we have the FP1 on Friday, the sprint qualifying on Friday, then the sprint race on Saturday morning, that's the evening in the western part of Africa, and also the qualifying in the evening. Then the Sunday race is in the evening. Now the weather is saying Friday it will look sunny to start with, moderate breeze, while there will be a slight chance of rain, which is about 11% during the practice session. But the all important sprint qualifying, probability of rain is 3%, which means there's likely no rain. The Saturday might be a little bit cloudy. The rain may come to a chance of 24% during the sprint race and 16% during the main qualifying. But certainly I said it to be cloudy and there might be slight rain, which takes us back to Shanghai. With the teams that had issues during the rain, we have the Ferrari unable to light up their tires. Also, the Mercedes struggled all through the race in so many ways, in so many aspects, and they still remain fourth with 12 points ahead of Aston Martin. 12 points is very easy to get by, so it's not something that we can fuss over. The Sunday race, we have light showers of rain as predicted. That's a 15% impact action of rain, but the maximum temperature will be about 30 degrees. That might dip low to about 19 degrees, which I think is cool. The humidity is climbing to about 53% on Sunday. On Friday, the humidity will be climbing to around 50%, and possibility of rain might bring a new thing to the race. And when there is rain, there are so many things that can come up. So let's see what happens. But on Pirelli data, we have the traction with about 3/5, a good traction. Braking is about 3/5. That's half of the race will be used on brakes. The lateral stress, we have about 3/5, which is good for the drivers. For me, it's going to give us a good racing. The tire stress is going to be 4/5, which means they are using the C2, C3, C4 in orders of hard, medium, and soft, which is the same tire that we used in China. It's almost the same track as China, but a different asphalt, because the asphalt grip is about 3/5 and the asphalt abrasion is 4/5, which is great. So tires will light up easily even in damp condition. The downforce is about 3/5, which means you need average downforce, but certainly the tires will be well used and will be well spent on the track that has a lot of slow corners and one good, smart, long straight on the track. So that is for the Miami Grand Prix. But stories around Lando Norris sustaining an injury on his face during the week, Andre Newey moving away from Red Bull. We would know during the Miami Grand Prix. I said a lot of things will be coming up from China. Until we get to Imola, there are big news that will be coming up. Even after Imola, there will be some good news. We have Audi securing Nico Hülkenberg's signature for next year, which is great for Nico Hülkenberg. Carlos Sainz still remains unsigned. The issue with Carlos Sainz is a lot of teams are very careful because they don't want to give him 2 years. For a team like Red Bull, they are looking at Sergio Perez, so they are thinking of giving Carlos Sainz a 1-year deal, and they look at him. If he's worth it, they don't sign another driver, but they don't want to gamble, certainly. While Mercedes too also do not want to gamble, so they are looking at a year and 1 year plus, which is not good for Carlos Sainz. Looking for 2 years plus 1 or possibly 3 years, and Audi might give him, but he's still looking at his options before he pens for Audi, which I think is great because he needs to look at his options very well before he pens down for another team that might not favor him. him, but I think Audi will be a best shot for him. Max Verstappen, from what we heard, might be meeting Mercedes team about his 2025 signing, and that is imminent because I have said it over and over again that the Red Bull team is falling apart. For Newey to leave amidst this power tussle and headaches, Max Verstappen's father has been clamoring that his son cannot stay in the team. Meeting with Mercedes in Miami, and Mercedes will be coming with Olaf, the Mercedes CEO, and the Ineos CEO, Jim Ratcliffe, to meet with him, which is a strong Mercedes quality to meet Max Verstappen, to propose to him good money and good future. It's not about winning for him. He'll be winning his fourth title, and then it's all about the money for me. Thinking about what he's about to do, it's all about the money. Mercedes may not be able to be competitive, but bringing him up from 2025-26 might change the dynamics, and it might resurge the hopes of Mercedes because there's another engine change. And for you to know, from 2014 down to 2021, it was the engine that favored Mercedes, not the aerodynamics. The aerodynamics wise, Red Bull were better. With the help of Andre Newey, they were able to race closer to teams like Ferrari and even Mercedes because they had better aerodynamics than them, and they've been stronger all through with aerodynamics. So with Mercedes having a good engine but bad aerodynamics, they are unable to race with Red Bull and other teams. That's the only problem Mercedes are having. They don't understand this ground effect car, but moving into another engine season, they might understand better. With Red Bull falling apart, it might be difficult for Red Bull to come in 2026, so they need Max Verstappen for 2025 strolling into 2026 to get a great car. And if you understand 2017, 2016, I think 2018, while Red Bull was still with Renault, they had issues with the engine and they believed the engine was slower. But coming up with Honda later, they had an issue with Honda, they left. Now they came back to Honda, and Honda proved to be reliable later, and they were able to use that same reliability to beat Lewis Hamilton while Mercedes won the Constructors' Championships. I think with Andre Newey leaving, Wascher might be leaving, some other key figures might be leaving because of this power saga in Red Bull, and that might bring them down. So I think it's better Max Verstappen thinks of leaving, in which I think that might be his decision before the middle of the year or before the race is off. So he might be leaving, which will put Red Bull in a great problem, because if they're losing a lot of staff, yes, the team principal Chris Horner said nobody is indispensable. They can raise up the dead, they can raise up the ghost, but that might be very, very dangerous for them because big boys leaving, intelligent guys leaving. You're partnering with Ford for 2026. Ford is new in F1, as in the last 15 years they are new in F1, so it's going to be a big ask for Red Bull. So I don't know how they will be able to keep Max Verstappen, but with Mercedes prowling, they might get him, and with Ferrari prowling, they might get Andre Newey and some other key figures to work with Lewis Hamilton and Ferrari. That might be hit. Let me go back to Miami. In 2022, the Ferrari started 1-2, but they ended 2-3 with Max Verstappen winning the race, Sergio Perez coming fourth. And in 2023, Sergio Perez starting first, Alonso starting second, Max Verstappen winning the race, Sergio Perez coming second and Alonso third. It's been a Red Bull track all through, but there might be a new dynamics, and during the single practice and the sprint race and qualifying, we should be able to know who will win the race. But up until the FP1 and sprint race, I love you guys. Thank you. Bye. Cheers.